Good morning, everybody. It's the last round of the Top Kit League, or 3 metre league. The first round, if you remember, a quick recap, the first round we fished on Tile Lake at Sedges. I won the match with 160 odd pounds, which gave me a good weight at the start, so that always can come in handy in a series, especially a weight sort of counts after points, etc. And then the second round, we went to Avalon. I drew not too well, if you remember. There were a few pegs that had pallets, and I felt having a pallet was massive because you were that much further out in the water, especially on a short pole match. There was a couple of end pegs as well, but we managed to scrape fourth, mainly fishing down that left hand edge and being very, very patient. So I was happy enough with that. That sort of left us second in the league, I believe. Then I had to miss the third round. The fourth round we were on Brick Lake at Sedges, if you remember. Had a bit of a torrid time, really. Peg 14. Generally, I wouldn't say it's a bad peg. It's just one of those days, really. It's very bright, very flat where we were. We had no shade, and I just think a few things went against us. But if you remember, we did manage to get out of gel. I was happy enough with that. We had 3 carp in the last half an hour. One off each of my lines, if you remember. And we came sort of 6th on the day, I think, which dropped me to 3rd in the league. So the last one today, we're at Acorn, and as you all know, I know Acorn a little bit, so I'm feeling, you know, quite comfortable with it. Some of the pegs are better than others, but I think if I come top 4, maybe even top 5, I end up in the top 3. So fingers crossed for that. We got some rain and things coming in, but I don't care. We're fishing short. We're at Acorn, we're going to get bites, aren't we? So 10 minutes on the pellet and nothing, but this allows our maggot line to just settle. And that maggot went in a sort of 4.5 foot of water. Our pellet line at 45 degrees, our soft pellet or expander line, is 3 foot. So nothing on that pellet line, so we just top it up before going on to the maggot line. We may have to catch everything to our right and in front of us, and I'm expecting that, but I thought I'd try and catch to my left towards the angler that's pegged next to us early before sort of fish moved out of that area, if you like. But it doesn't seem like there's many fish in that area, of course. So you can see we've back shotted our 4x14 rube. I got 3 number 8s next to that, and that's just holding that rig quite nice in that wind, isn't it? So nothing on the maggot line after 10 minutes, so pack on the pellet line. So it's definitely a slow start, isn't it? But fishing so short, that's expected, really. Nice slow bite there, wasn't it? So after 40 minutes, we hook our first fish. Most people are the same. It's very slow. The only person I can see catching is Paul Homewood up on peg 17 or 18, um, and he's getting a few small carp in front of him. So a nice little tench followed by a quality roach. I don't mind that early. I just think you've got to get fish feeding in the peg, and eventually, when the carp want to feed, they'll just muscle in on those silvers. So I abandon that left-hand line now, and I feed in the same depth, but to our right, where I've got that little bit more room. I've actually got an empty peg to my right, but I've got an angler to my left, and we're the only angler today, apart from Ian on my left, who has an angler next to him. Everybody else has sort of an empty peg each side. That doesn't worry me too much, not with the conditions and being acorn. So a nice skimmer. I mean, I knew this match was always going to be about just trying to put a few fish in the net. You were going to be lucky if you found yourself on carp. It's about putting a few fish in the net for 2 or 3 hours, and then hopefully catching one or two carp with the peg gradually getting better in that last sort of, up to that last sort of hour, 90 minutes. So a nice little hide. All on double white maggot. Um, I'm actually fishing 012 on this line as well now. It's 016 main line because I knew I had to catch everything and anything. It's the white hollow liquid filled elasto, 016 main line, 4x14 rube, some strung out with number 8s in the bottom end of the rig, size 18 LWG, ETFE, Guru hook, and a couple of white maggots on it. So nice chunky tench. Another hide. Those hide, they love the maggots, don't they? After 2 hours, no carp, so we start priming our top kit line there with a few maggots. And then while we're letting that settle, we're just going to have a quick look down the edge where we primed it with 100 mil ground bait about 15 minutes ago. It takes 4 or 5 minutes, but we get a bite. Which is brilliant and a little bit of a surprise this early. I mean, it'd be nice if we get one or two more like that. I don't mind sitting and waiting if we're going to catch carp. I'm quite aware I don't want to hit it too hard too early as well. If it feels like it's going away from me, because if you fish it too early, they might end up spoiling it for later, and that's really where we're hoping to catch. Obviously, in that sort of last 90 minutes or so. It's nice to get our. Oh, it's a lovely F1. I think the wind is acting like a bit of cover, isn't it? The fish seem to be happy in that shallow water down the edge. I'm quite surprised at that. But there's quite a bit of tow on the water, and obviously, as you can see, and as we said, quite a bit of wind on there. And I think that chop on the surface is just making them feel that little bit more confident to come in there. Obviously, the depth they want to be in as well. So I'm just wondering if I could have been down there right from the start, if I'm honest. But keep feeding that short line with maggots, and then if this slows, I got somewhere else to go, and I can just rest it. As soon as I'm waiting too long for a bite, I'm going to come off of it. I don't want to fish it out completely. I've turned the volume down on the camera, obviously as much as I can, due to the wind. Otherwise, you can only hear wind really. Hopefully, the next video I make, I will be using the new camera and microphone. So hopefully, it'll be a very different story. So we try that left edge now, just to rest that main swim really on the right. I didn't want to go on the maggot quite yet, so I had a quick look left, just feeling like that's the depth they wanted to be in. But with another angler there to me left, just no go in there. Doesn't matter because we're back on the right and we're back into fish. The fishing's really good, but the weather sadly is deteriorating. We've got quite a front coming over today. Oh, terrible bit of scooping. I'm going to blame the conditions on that. So I've cut out the last 40 minutes of film. We did catch a few fish in it. We haven't really slowed. It's been nice and steady, but so much water got on the lens that it just wasn't worth showing you. So I've just dropped onto the maggot line, and we're catching on that as well now, which is brilliant. Yeah, so on that maggot line, we're using a 4B12 rube. It's actually a carbon rube, because I can get away with it just there on that 45-degree angle, just about. Um, and I like carbon for maggots, really. Um, again, the main line on this is 018 no. I've stepped up from where we were in that little bit of deeper water. We're sort of 3 foot deep here, 3 foot to 3 foot six, and that's 018 main line and 014 hook length now, and a size 16 LWG hook, and treble maggot as well. So we catch a silver then, and that's a little bit of a telltale, isn't it, for us to come off of that, give it a rest, and build it back up again. So back down the edge, just lifted into that bite nice and quietly. And the rig on this is our old favourite. It's a zero point 0.4 Elco, uh, 0.20 main line, and 016 hook length.
and a 16 LWG now. And the ground bait, same as we always do, really, just, nice and damp, potting it in, following it down with the maggots, setting a nice little trap. I feel this year down here at Acorn, and I've been down here a lot, to be honest. We haven't gone many other places. I've been very busy, to be honest, this year, and it's just one of those, isn't it? And Acorn has everything you want. It has a great attendance. There's always a waiting list. It sells out. You can get your bait at the shop. You can get your tackle here. Breakfast just round the corner, so it just suits, really. I mean, why wouldn't you? And it's fantastic fishing. So I've come down a lot, but I have felt this year I've sort of sussed the edges out quite well, actually. Our nemesis has been this short line. It's all right catching on maggots, but the times I've tried to catch on pellets, and others have caught on pellets, I can catch on pellets across. For some reason, that short line and me and pellets has just not got on this year at all. But now it's going that little bit cooler and maggots are scoring that little bit higher. We're okay on it. And the elastic on this rig, of course, I didn't mention that, is the grey hollow liquid filled elasto as well. It seems good. I've mentioned it before. I've been using it a few weeks now. Yeah, it does seem good. You can see my 2 number 8 back shot there as well on that rig. You can just hold that at the water sort of surface level. It just holds the rig nice and steady, doesn't it? And instead of having a silly short line to your float, you can have a bit of a longer line in the wind, and just with those shots, you still keeps your pole directly above your float, so it's not like you're fishing a long line and going to miss bites. Nothing massive, but they're good weighers, aren't they? Really nice stamp fish. Gabe on my right in in peg 12, even with the wind in it today, is struggling. Ian on my left is catching a few. Paul up on 17, 18, wherever he is, he has been catching from the start and still is. I do feel we are now catching faster than him, but where he had 2 hours a head start on us, are we catching enough to catch him up? I don't know. And the water movement is causing us to foul hook 1 or 2 fish as well now. We're getting quite a back trip on the water. So we took the last 20 minutes out again due to the weather. But the two lines have been very kind to us. We've just kept sort of one or two fish coming. I tend to catch one or two fish and then we start the foul hook. So I sort of come off it and build it up again. Whether they're just trying to come off the bottom, I think it's probably more in relation to the toe on the water now and where I'm throwing the maggots in, um, gauging exactly where they're going down and hitting the bottom as well, you know. And the same with the edge, feeding grain bait. Um, I've actually sort of been putting in like 100 mil of grain bait when I leave it, and then I'm going in with micros in the cab pot and maggots on the hook, and that's been much better. I sort of nailed them down a little bit, getting some much better bites and quicker bites as well. And the sun across the water there makes for a beautiful picture, doesn't it? But not so good to land fish. If they come up round to my left, it's absolutely blinding. When you know, we've seen a bit of my scooping earlier, let alone with the sort of sun in your eyes across the water like that. Yeah, it can be quite. It's quite challenging. I've seen him a little bit easier there by standing up. We've had a few foul hookers, as I said, on that sort of 3 foot maggot line. So that's prompted me to just try this left edge now. Time's sort of getting short in the match. Yeah, and we've hooked one. It's took a lot longer, hasn't it, for him to come into that left hand side because there's another angler in there. It's amazing, really, how much, what a difference room makes, isn't it? You know, with that right hand line and that. You know, even with that wind, they know, don't they? They just know when there's somebody else there when there isn't much room. I think we're up there. We need to come in the top four to end up in the top three in the league. I can't win it. I can't win it because I've only fished four of the matches out of. Well, the league was actually 6 matches at the start, so I've got no droppers or anything. So just got to get in that top four. It's just a lovely day's fishing. You always get a nice day's fishing down here. There's a massive head of fish in here, though. That's the nice thing. You can always sit there in confidence in winter, knowing that the float could go under at any time because there's so many fish in here. Oh, it's where I heard that carp laugh when I tried to net him the first time. So just a few minutes of the match remaining. As I said, hoping we've sort of ended in the top four, but we've had a fantastic day anyway, haven't we? Either way, it's been absolutely brilliant as always. Been a nice league, this short pole league. It's something very different. It's not happening again next year. I did consider taking it on myself, but with work and everything else, I'm just too busy. But it's certainly something I'd think about in the future. I think I think if I was retired, it's certainly something I consider, running one or two leagues like this. Really, really interesting. Really good. And anybody can fish them. You don't need an expensive pole. You don't even need a long pole, do you? You need a top kit and a short four. And on some of the venues, it's been challenging. It makes you think a little bit. It's been interesting. As I said, hopefully next film we put on will be with the new camera, microphone, and everything that all you've helped me to sort of purchase. So thank you very much for all that. I'll speak to you all again soon.